Okay, guys. Oh my God, we're actually live. We are going to pull some cards for the week right before Valentine's Day. Natural. I've done most of my day spending it in nature outside. So we didn't bother putting on makeup for nature. Let the sun touch our skin where it wanted to. Beautiful day. Spirit of angels of truth, love, light, and benevolent darkness, please come into this circle and help guide my words the way they need to go. Let's get an energy reading for this collective that watches me for the week of Valentine's Day 2025. Cognitive dissonance and love is in the air. How about it? How can these two things exist at once? Spirit of angels, truth, love, light, and benevolent darkness, I ask that you remove my ego so that I can deliver these messages as clearly and concisely as they need to be delivered to the people that need to be sitting here listening to it in the way it needs to be heard. Please help me to be able to deliver the right words of comfort or confirmation that somebody might possibly need. Thank you for entering this space. I also ask that the entities that want to sow confusion and corruption get pushed out. I don't want any negative energies in this circle right now. Only guidance that we can learn from. Nothing cruel and pointless. Thank you. So, how am I going to do this? Didn't really think it through. I just sort of got on here. So, I'm going to do modalities, I suppose. No, I don't want to do modalities. General, collective reading for Valentine's week with just a regular ass tarot pull. No special. Just as it is. Tell us as it is, and then we'll get some advice. Simple ass reading. Tell me what it is, Spirit. What's the snapshot? What's the reality of the situation for love for Valentine's week? What is the general feeling of the week for Valentine's Day week? What do we need to know snapshot-wise of love? I didn't even think about it. We're pulling 4 cards. General snapshot. This is the way things are for the week. I see. So, very interesting. We're starting off pretty playful. I love the colors in this card. I love the contrast of blue and red together so much. I love that shit. So, I mean, there's some playfulness involved. I would say this is a really good time not to be taking anything too fucking seriously. Don't be taking anything in too damn deep. This is the first card, Page of Cups. This is playfulness, banter, flirting, silliness, lightheartedness. Nothing too serious, nothing too deep. Starting off, nothing too deep. It does feel good and fun. Moving on, this is like the worst mental state you could be in. This is feeling so betrayed, so exhausted, so drained, so stabbed in the back. Everything, all the worst things that could happen to a person. And you're just marinating in that. DOA, spiritually. Shit sucks for you right now. It's painful. So I feel like this is sort of an escapism tactic in a way where you want things to be like this, so you're trying to make things be like that, but in reality, you're healing some of the worst shit that could possibly happen. Somebody said, I think it was my dad recently, that he said that being ignored is one of the worst things you can do to somebody. And that might be what's going on. Maybe, you've been cheated or ignored or something, some devaluating circumstance in some way that did not work out for you. It was painful, and you're doing your best to overcome it through being silly and lighthearted, trying to think of new things. Ace of Swords, trying to change your mind, trying to take it down a new route, like not really spending time with this 10 of Swords very much, but I think that causes issues. This is the last card for how it is right now. This is, in some terms, it's painful because, Seven of Wands is defensive in and of itself. It's exhausting. No. There's mixes of energy. Like, she's not really doing much in this situation. This is not a place for femininity to be here, the soft and vulnerable. This is more about defensive and protection and more exhaustion. The inspiration is to go and fight back. Fight with your mind. There's some sort of level of, this week is not the way it is right now. The way it's been presenting, the way we're feeling it is not so good. We're feeling pain. And maybe we're being misunderstood. We're trying to handle it the best way we possibly can. In some ways make light of it, but that sort of bypasses the issue. This new mindset, though, this is about the only thing that you got, is a gift from God, comes out of nowhere, where you start to make sense out of things. It does feel more clear. You're trying to refocus things in a new way. But it doesn't mean that it's easy. It hurts. Like, there's this sense of fear inside of this where you have to... This is a really benign, small example of this energy. I just bought myself like a really good quality mayonnaise that was, avocado oil. I think it's Primal Kitchen brand. It's clean. It's pretty clean. I didn't want to make myself some mayo. And this morning when I got into the fridge, I saw that somebody had used my mayonnaise and left cross-contamination of another product in there that was like yellow. And I was upset because I don't like cross-contamination. That's one of my big problems, is cross-contamination. So I had a little hissy fit and was full of dread and felt very defensive because I paid like $12 for this mayonnaise. Like, I don't want it to be used behind my back and cross-contaminated. So I had an upset. This is not on every level, you know what I mean? Like that's just an example of the type of tension where you feel like you have to go on the offensive warpath because you're like, ugh. But I feel like we're trying to smile through that tension and try to get above it as far as the wisdom is concerned. I think you're doing a good job at trying to put a smile on your face and not feel dread for this holiday. Even though it's like a commercial holiday. This is what it is. People have been hurt. People have been hurt. People have been hurt. And we're all trying to do our best to clean it up. I hate it when the cards are so like... accurate. It's the last, several months have been extremely painful for a lot of people, mentally, spiritually. Noticing a detail. Looks like there's some writing at the top, and it looks like the day after, which is oddly enough. So imagine this is, post. I'm seeing like the worst has been done a bit ago, but we're figuring out how to cope with it, and we're feeling very defensive because we're just like throbbing and don't want it to keep happening. We want some sort of resolution, but we don't know how to create it because it's like, well, now we expect to be attacked. So I'm going to leave these cards out and I'm going to keep going. What else? So this Valentine's Day week, can you tell me anything advice-wise to support this pain that we're trying to process through and this defensiveness that we're trying to process through? I know we all want it to be nice and light and silly and fun. So what kind of advice? How many cards do you want me to pull? Okay, I've gotten 5 twice. Right before Venus retrograde. Rough. So let's go. Let's go. Hello, viewer. Advice for the week of Valentine's Day. Wow. Moving forward. Big moving forward energy. So this is the advice. All right. So keep on keeping on. We have the Chariot to start, full of emotion. Valentine's Day week. This is the advice. Hello, viewers. We're pulling more cards for the week, starting with the Chariot. There's victory here. We can taste it. There's not going to be a long defeat here. It's just every now and then humanity is inclined to stub their toes, especially when it comes to having feelings. If you're circulating out in this world, you can't really avoid getting fucked or somebody cheating you or having rumors be spread about you or having a misunderstanding. The only thing we can really do is scoop ourselves up and figure out how to move on despite the feeling of wanting to turn around and be defensive. Chariot is about victory and movement and progress in the future, even. Like, you can see how futuristic this particular version of the Chariot is. What else can I learn from this card? There's this thing about balancing the light and the dark energies in this card. A balance of yin and yang, a balance of, the darkness and the light, psychology, witchcraft, magic, whatever, however you want to look at the light and dark. There's this mixture of energies together that creates forward movement. So I think there's this philosophy that overtakes you where you take the good with the bad and then you turn it all into a victory for yourself. There is no such thing as anything that truly holds you back. I didn't notice it at first for the first while where I was pulling this card, but there's 2 dogs in that car. That black dog looks like a building. And I just realized there it is. There's a black dog with pointy ears and a white dog with floppy ears. And there is a black and white element to the original Chariot card, which, I should have seen it a long time ago that this has the black and white element too. But instead of driving the vehicle, they're inside the vehicle. I apologize for the cat crying. She's in heat. It's not my cat. Anyway, so this black and white element is about embracing the contrasting, using it for fuel, regardless of what it looks like. This is really about going forward and not stopping, not really taking time to look back, not really taking time to allow regrets to sink in. We have the Knight of Swords to follow that. So these cards are what we're supposed to do about all this pain that we've been feeling, all this hurt, all this need to make things lighter than, appear to be more playful and soft and fun than we might actually feel when we're actually feeling defensive and broken and confused, praying for enlightenment, getting it to a certain extent, finding clarity, but it's still feeling quite defensive. This is what we do about it. We keep it moving with the quickness. This is the quickest card in the entire deck, maybe besides the 8 of Wands. This is intellectually quick. You just make a decision and you run straight forward for it. It doesn't really matter what you're leaving behind, because it seems like as we move forward, the storyline changes from the things you've been upset about to the things that you can be grateful for, because we have a good team here. 3 of Pentacles. People you can draw up plans with and connoiter with and expect and know that they'll carry through what they say they're going to do. This is your team, your team. It's a good thing. These people have your back. There's people who are willing to do anything for you right here. You have somebody willing to even do the thieving for you. Got red hands in this picture. These you got some thugs behind in your support group. Straight up thugs. Moving forward, the other major arcana card. The Justice keeps showing up a lot lately. You have the Pillars of Justice. She's very fiery. She's gorgeous. Super strong and empowered. She's not taking no shit. She's not just embodying justice, but she will act it out as well. One-stop shop. She's not just going to tell you what the just way to act and behave is. She's going to show you with that fucking sword. She'll beat that shit right into you. But that type of energy, you withhold from certain people with the Justice card. It's very Libran. Some people get your energy, some people don't. Contracts get rewritten. Sometimes contracts get canceled. And what you have to do is figure out what to do with your energy here. You get to start examining every little piece of energy that you give out in exchange. So while these cards aren't very lovey-dovey, we're heading towards the right direction. We are not going to be repeating a cycle this year. We're moving into new territory. With the Justice and the 6 of Pentacles, where the guy has a tattoo of the Justice symbols on his hands, I am feeling very much that this is about equanimity or nothing. If the reciprocation isn't there and it's not in your face, then what are you doing with it? Why are you fucking around? If these people don't have your back all the way, cut them off. If they're not all the way in, they're all the way out. making the necessary cuts with the Knight of Swords as well. Ace of Swords comes back in. There's movement here. Not everybody can go where you're going. You have to be super duper self-involved and super duper selfish. And the people who are meant to support you won't be able to be held back from supporting you. I know you feel defensive to begin with the Seven of Wands up there, but I think striking out on your own, perhaps dropping any weight. You can pay me for a reading. I can give you my Cash App and we can do personal readings. Sure, no problem. Right now, I'm just doing a general reading for the week. We have a lot of weeding through people that don't have your best interest in mind. We have a lot of picking through poor energy and driving forward, moving past all this damage that was done, still going with an intellectual gift. Perhaps then we get this gift from God and then move forward with it with the information that we get. We get some sort of knowledge. Even though we've been defensive and fighting about it, we sort of just pull back and realize that this is part of the journey. The steps along the way are more important than the specific outcome. We start to really pay attention to our experience and making sure that that is aligned. I think I'm providing a free reading right now. You're welcome to enjoy that. There's a lot of shitty things going on, a lot of pain going on, a lot of defensiveness. But reality speaking is, moving forward, collecting yourself, asking for downloads of enlightenment to how to use your energy correctly, finding where your team is at, moving forward with that, doing things the right way, getting in integrity with yourself in your highest integrity, and choosing how, when, and where to give your energy, and fully committing to the fact that you're the one with the star power energy. What are you going to do about it? And find places that do appreciate you. Find people that do appreciate you. Your energy has to take the biggest precedence. Your attitude about your way to get through this and a way out of this is everything. You have to get into the place where you are the Justice card. You find the 2 or 3 people you can actually trust. It's not going to be a lot of people. When you move forward, you give only the people that are worth your attention. When I see the Justice card in typical Rider-Waite terms, I think a lot about renegotiation of contracts or divorce. Doing things fairly. It's also Solomon's judgment with the baby, threatening to cut the baby in half, and then finding out which one was the real mother. This is the type of energy that we use. There's a lot of swords here. This is for a Valentine's reading. We're in our mental energy, our very much knowing, our communication energy. This is using our words, receiving data, enlightenment through prayer, through concentration, and then using it, that focused laser beam energy, to burn away anything that doesn't have value for you anymore. And I think this is an interesting card, being the 11th card. And we do think about 1111 in terms of love. Mirrors. If it's not coming through in a just way, if it's draining you, if it's not reciprocal in a correct way, you have to figure out what to do with your energy, whether or not this is a thing you need to be participating with. As painful as it might be to move forward or inconvenient, that might be just the right thing to do, is to move forward despite the inconvenience, because success, there's some risk involved. You have to bet on yourself. Then I think the people that are meant to back you up in life will be there, and you'll be a lot stronger for having gone through this journey. So there is some level of partnership in this card, but it's really about learning about energy exchange before we even get there. Nobody can make you feel any kind of way in particular. You're the master of your emotions. If you allow them to make you feel a certain way, you have to have a responsibility about that. But ultimately, you're the one that decides to assign meaning to things or not. You could go to Disneyland with your entire family, right? Every single person is going to have a different experience. Or in my case, I was just talking to my dad about when I was like 4 years old. To this day, I don't like feeling any rain or wetness on my skin without toweling it off first. I don't like things just drying on my skin. And it's because when I was 4 years old, we went to Universal Studios and it was raining that day. And I remember being cold, wet, and miserable. And I think I was sick. And if I wasn't sick on that trip, I got sick right after. But I remember being so sad and crying and cold that day. But my dad didn't have a shitty experience. My sister didn't have a shitty of experience. I know they had it okay, but I was tiny, I didn't have that much fun. You can go to places with a whole group and no one person's going to have all the same experience. So you have to make sure that you're constantly checking in and not letting other people tell you how you feel. Did that make you feel a certain way or not? Move forward with that and make a change. Only you can make it. This is going to be a really tough week, honestly. I keep talking about how codependency is not going to be allowed. And I think this is more of that. Avoiding it. She's not really doing much to defend herself. He's giving it a good shot, though. And then in the next card, there's this girl's taking a stand and driving the whole picture. So I feel like eventually she's going to have to learn how to stand on her own feet, move forward. Maybe there's people in your life that are just constantly slowing you down, dragging you through their shit and causing a 10 of Swords situation. And you finally get the idea that you have to move on without them with a quickness and work on collecting people or establishing a trusting relationship with a group of people that will have your back. It gives you abilities to rest in your discernment and start to realize you do have the ability to pick the right people in your life. You know, a lot of times we have so many fucked up things happen and we're like, how do I keep this from happening if I can't see straight? Like, how am I ever going to see through people being fake? Trusting yourself first, move forward in good faith and start betting on yourself. That's really it. Then the right people will come around. In the meanwhile, again, cut off any liabilities. Only keep the pluses around. No liabilities, only pluses. Funny, because a lot of times you think about Justice and she's blind, but she's not blind. She sees exactly what the fuck is going on. Moving forward. If it's not equaling up, you're not going to give your energy. You're only going to give pieces of yourself if God tells you to, or if it is equitable moving forward. So that is the advice for the week. Now I'm going to get a specific love message. A specific love message for all the lovebirds. Singles and people with people. If you're in a relationship and single, I'd like a message that goes both ways, please. This one's going to be advice to don't form. Please excuse my yawning. Advice do don't, please. Advice do don't. Love reading, okay? This is kind of silly. Advice card. Four of Swords. In a way, this is an advice to take a rest. Rest your mind, rest your spirit, rest your body. Don't push. Let the line go slack. Let go. Relax. Turn your brain off. Have a sabbatical. Go on hiatus. Become unperceivable. The world. Do some fucking healing. With the world, we're talking about accomplishments. Do see yourself as somebody who is not just worthy of love, but worthy of being in relationship with. See yourself as your most healed version so that you can share yourself with somebody. If you aren't able to visualize and experience the feeling of a possible healthy relationship in your future, then it's not going to happen. If you're just one of those pessimistic people that say, oh, this always happens to me, that always happens to me, I always find myself in this type of situation, these people always treat me this way, I always get used, whatever the fucking scenario is, that's why you're being told to empty your mind. See yourself as accomplished, like you've done all that. Okay, that was your story before, but you're not doing that now. The don't card. You're not walking away from anything just yet in love. There's more for you to learn in this thing. So when it comes to This phase of the story, this is what I feel like I have to say. This last phase of the story is over. But that doesn't mean that particular storyline is over. It's just the end of the chapter to a degree. In love, we're not walking away yet. Eight of Cups walks away. Eight of Cups is sayonara. I have seen what I needed to see. No, thank you. That's the don't. The do card is the world. Like, what can you do to expand your horizons, to see your way through this cycle, to see your way through to feeling your way into a better future? You might, okay, like put it like this. You've never had a healthy relationship before. You don't know how to act. You might even feel sometimes like a sheltered animal. You've never been truly caressed. You've never been truly loved on. Also, you might have been abused. You might have been stuck out on the street. You might have been beaten up. You might have had all kinds of terrible treatments to where you feel like you can't turn around and be soft. You have to be very defensive with everybody, and you have to bite the hand that feeds you at this point. And this is what it's saying. It's like, you don't have to be so quick to go. See yourself as somebody who chooses either to not operate at all, to not indulge it at all, and that's the way you're healed, or see yourself as somebody who gives yourself rest and relaxation and healing and putting yourself first in a kind, compassionate way. See yourself withdrawing from any drama. See yourself saying no to energy that doesn't match you equally. The world is yours, but you have to see yourself in it to believe it yourself, that this is the truth. So this is the love reading for the week. I just did, if you want to watch it back, I did, the first question was, what's going on right now? Just a snapshot of the energy right now. There's a lot of pain going on, a lot of seeking new perspectives, and a lot of defensiveness. We're moving on and trying to figure out a way to, the next card set was advice for this week. And then this was about a love reading, this final card pull. So we have 3 different layers of a reading right now, and you can go rewatch. If you're resonating with this end of the reading, then you're probably going to be resonating with the beginning. The whole world is yours, but you have to see it and believe it for that to be so. You can't take my word for it. You have to know this and be out there living your life in such a way that brings that new energy to you. Embracing the void is another way of looking at this 4 of Swords energy advice. Either way, you're not walking away yet. I'd rather you hold still and change your mind and your perception of what you can do than I would rather you walk away in this exact moment. That's the energy for the week. I'm going to pull an oracle card to finish. Then I'm going to go. This oracle card will be from the Ask and It Is Given deck. I will be collecting more oracle cards soon. I ordered a set and it just sort of got lost in customs, and I don't know if it's ever going to make its way to my house, to be honest. It would be nice. I have no idea what's happening with that package, so we'll see. But I can always reorder it and get something else. So one Ask and It Is Given card for the Valentine's Day week, where people have all their vulnerabilities out and they want to feel some kind of being seen, being identified with, loved, vibrated with, positivity. They want their highest outcome. What can we say? What can I say? Give me a card that can help me put a cap on all the advice I just got with my tarot cards. Life is always in motion, so I cannot be stuck. You're not stuck. It is not possible to stand still or be stuck because the energy and therefore life is always in motion. Things are always changing. The main reason it may feel to you as if you are stuck because while you are continuing to think the same thoughts, things are changing around you. But they are changing to the same things over and over. Okay, so while you are continuing to think the same thoughts, things are changing, but they are changing to the same things over and over again. Because your thoughts, I always get used, this always happens to me, blah, 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 all these same, I always this always blah, blah, blah. This storyline that you keep saying happens to you. The reason why it keeps happening is because you keep bringing it up into your vibration. That's why the card says, relax, turn your brain off, unplug, pull away. I would rather you say you don't know and fill your mind with nothing this week than I would have you doom and gloom and stew and bellyache and fight. Pull back. Be very keenly aware of the thoughts you keep thinking. Be very keenly aware not to waste your own time and energy. The card number is 46 if you like numbers. I love you guys. I'm going to go. I'm always available for one-on-one sessions. I do liminal space readings. They're sort of not readings. They're more like sessions. More like coaching sessions, one-to-one coaching sessions, where you tell me what's up. I get downloaded information. We sit there and talk about what's going on. One of the things people like to do is combine a liminal space conversation with a tarot reading, so that way they get the best of both worlds and both of my skill sets, so that their head wrap is easy to answer. It's not an everyday thing. The head wrap is because I do oil treatments on Saturday, and I don't want the dust getting in the oil. I wear the oil all day after I get out of the shower to condition my scalp and my hair. So thank you for the pretty hair comment. It's just, I like to take care of myself, and that's one of the ways I take care of myself. I know it looks super weird, but this is just part of my regimen of taking care of myself. So I anoint my head every weekend, and I do it for the quality of hair growth. I have very fine, baby fine hair that is processed with hair color, and I don't want it to be breaking all over the place. I would actually like to have a lot longer hair, but I've been trying to grow it for years. And this is just one of the things I do to take care of it. I do. I mix a bunch of oils together with aloe vera and put like caps on my head once a weekend. So that's what that's about. I'm going to close the reading. Like I was saying, you can always catch a hold of me on suigenerousregenerate.com. I'm Sui Generous Regenerate on every social media channel. I make videos here. I make videos on YouTube. I make videos. Wait, this is YouTube. Oh my God. I'm a ding dong. I make videos on YouTube here. I make videos on TikTok. And I also make videos on Instagram. And I am a certified tarot reader for a group called Astrology Shitposting Only. And there's 14.5K members in that group. So it's an extremely large group. And I'm one of 3 blessed tarot readers that goes and does weekly tarot readings there. So I'm always around. I'm doing a lot more lives. I'm doing a lot more readings like this lately. And I do cheap and free readings every month on my Instagram. I'm always providing several different tiers of service, paid and unpaid. So you want to follow me here, there, and everywhere so you can get little tidbits when you can. So I'm a busy girl, but this is my love of my life. I know TikTok may close down. So I have energy spread everywhere. But right now, TikTok is not shut down. So I'm there posting every day still. So I'm going to go. Thank you for being lovely. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be everywhere. My name's Katie. It's nice to associate with you today. I hope you have a beautiful day. And we're going to be having a full moon very soon. On my Instagram, I do emoji tarot readings for every lunar event, full moon, new moon event. So I invite you, Apple Skies. I hope I said that correctly, Apple Skies. Go ahead and add me on Instagram. And you know, if you're hurting financially, you'll always have a chance to get some free cards on an appropriate day when I'm doing free card readings. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the silent watchers as well. Sending love to you all. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend.